Hello.
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 Let's go!
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
War crimes will be prosecuted.
Does the word duh mean anything to you?
Yeah, I chose this profession, so therefore I earned beer.
You want to go to the matinee? The feeling is definitely there.
You don't know my name.
Hi, and welcome to the High Fives Punk Rock Podcast. That was the Isotopes and their cover of John Fogerty's Centerfield, which isn't something we normally open with, but I promise it goes with the theme of this month's episode. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Mike. How are you?
I'm all right. You've been sick again. This is like I've known you for a lot of years, and I swear this year you've been sick more than anything. I'm starting to think you just lie so you don't have to record with me once a month.
I'm running out of excuses to not record with you. Also, speaking of lies, saying that I am very well is a lie. I'm coming into week 3 of being sick, and it's something I could do without, but here we are.
Plagues, eh? Great for you.
Yep.
Stop playing with rats and mice and flies.
We're rat-free here in Alberta.
That's what they say. I'm sure they're going to wreck that too somehow.
That's why we're going to separate. You can keep the rats.
You can keep the rats.
We'll keep the freedom.
But isn't freedom to own rats too? Really makes you think, hey, Justin? Makes you think.
That's a very un-Albertan thing to say.
I read something that like Joe Rogan always says that really makes you think, and that's his way of like saying he agrees with something without getting like pigeonholed into saying he did actually agree to it.
Oh,
it's a good strategy.
It does really make you think.
Yeah, really makes you think about things, eh? Fucking loser. Anyway, speaking of people and losers, Spotify's been fucking us over. So if you notice some of our episodes are missing on Spotify, I don't really know why. I'm assuming it's something to do with some sort of copyright things, but they don't leave me a note or tell me why. Every once in a while, episodes just disappear. So when this is up, try to listen right away. Or they're still on all the other platforms, and I think most of them are up again. I've kind of been cheating the system and putting them back up with like a re-upload thing. But if it's out of order, you could probably find it on one of the other streaming services. I'll blame Joe Rogan for that too. He probably found out I was mocking him or something. Some sort of creatine rage thing.
Yeah, what he hasn't figured out is if you listen to the episodes backwards, there's a secret hidden message in there.
We're turning everyone trans, right?
I hope so.
That's been my whole scam. It's the trans woke agenda.
That's how they get you.
Brought to you by the Trudeau Notley Alliance. That's some CanCon humor for you. Justin, are you ready to leave the years behind and get cracking on themes?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. By a lot of accounts, going by the years makes it easier to just sort of stay focused and just like, okay, well, you can research a little bit quicker. But you're also like stuck. You're pigeonholed into that year, and you kind of hope that we don't have conflicts or the same picks and stuff like that. So it's easier, but also harder at the same time. I feel like getting back into themes is going to be a lot of fun, perhaps a little bit more creative, and probably some good debates as to how much something is on theme or not. So
it's going to force you to not look just at Wikipedia's 1998's best of list and go through there.
Yeah, well, actually, what I did was just edited a whole bunch to align with my picks, even if they were a couple years off. I figured no one was gonna call me out on it, so it worked well.
Really makes you think. The other good thing is you no longer have to answer any more questions that I ask you, unless you're willing to answer one more for me. But you don't have to.
Let's do one more, just for old time's sake.
Just for old time's sake? Okay, Justin, I have one question for you. The Punk Rock Museum in Las Vegas often has guest curators that take people on tours. Who's someone that you would like to do that tour with?
That's a good question. I think I'd like to do it with someone. I'm just trying to think of who it would be, but that was not necessarily in a band, but was like around a lot of the bands. So if it was like a promoter or someone that ran with like probably not like CBGB, but like even like Gilman Street or
oh, that'd be cool, like Larry Livermore or something like that. Like
yeah, exactly. Or like what was the guy who I always talk about?
Your producer guy that you like?
Like Ryan Green. It's like someone that sort of worked with all of these bands but wasn't necessarily in one. Would be really interesting because I think they'd have quite a bit of perspective. Or like Kevin from Warped Tour, like someone like that would be cool. Kevin Lyman, is that his name?
That's a really good response. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking more like bands and stuff, but I don't really like, I assume you're like me, you don't really fanboy over like the cult of celebrity. So it's like, it would be less interesting. And it'd only be interesting if it was someone that was like, if the whole exhibit was super focused on that person, let's say, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if it was about a specific band, like if there was like a Rancid one, it'd be cool to have it from like, Tim or Matt or Lars. But if it's, I think if it's sort of like just a broad base, it would be cool to have someone that was connected in a few different ways. I could talk through a broader spectrum.
Great answer. I did have an alternate question that I was gonna toss your way, but only just because I think it's hilarious and I have to bring it up. So you know how on like your phone you get like a news, like on the side thing, there's like newsreels.
Yeah.
Whatever. So the other night I'm just sitting in bed and I'm doom scrolling and reading whatever's like forced at me, and this article comes up and it's like, there's a shortage of DJs for orgies in San Francisco. And I was like, what the hell? What a weird gig that would be. like you and me. Okay, background thing, just sorry, I'll clarify, no orgies have involved Justin and me, but background, Justin and me have DJed a lot of weddings, a lot of like charity events, concerts, things like that. We've done like parties and things like that, and requests for those are really annoying. And there's like a certain thing you like when you do a wedding specifically, you have to be very careful what you play, right? Like it has to appeal to everybody. It can't be offensive to certain people. It has to still like be fun enough that like a 70-year-old could dance and a 20-year-old and a 12-year-old. But then I was thinking about this. I'm like, what the fuck would you play at an orgy? Like, that's a lot of people you gotta appease, and I don't want somebody coming up to me all oiled up asking to play, like, what's a song? Like, I just don't know what you'd play. Anyway, so my other question was going to be, what song would you play? But it seemed kind of awkward. And I just wanted to talk about how stupid that article was. So I don't really need an answer.
I would go with Baby Shark. Just about 26 minutes into it.
Just
and
Baby Shark.
Just throw
See
the
what
whole
happens?
mood off. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, great answer. Baby Shark orgy.
Listeners going to get a whole lot of that this episode too.
That's all right.
Random coughs.
Coughs are good for everyone. Can't get sick through the microphone, as far as I know.
No, just grossed out.
Yeah, just don't do that like giant suck back.
Like the really big hacking one. I'll try to mute for those.
The kind of hack that you're like, whenever you're in line somewhere, or like on a plane, or like anytime you have to be with somebody a long time, and you're like, the guy behind me's got it's like inevitable. The guy behind you is gonna have that giant hack, and you're like, wow, what's going on over there? Is he a smoker, or has he got the plague? And that's how germaphobes think. That's how I run my life.
Mike, I got one last question for you, since this was going to be the end of our Q&A with the two of us. If you got to curate one show for any band, living or dead, with an opener and a headliner, and at any venue of your choice, who would be on that bill and where would it be?
That's a great question. They can be a band that no longer exists.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
The Clash.
And they don't even have to be like in the same time period.
Okay, it's The Clash, just because I would love to see The Clash with the Murder City Devils opening in... I don't know. I'm not great with venues, so...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a specific...
I would just say it would have to be like a 500-person max venue.
Like almost like a club show kind of
thing. Yeah, that would be something I would do. Did you have an idea who you would have picked for like something like that?
For a long time... well, up until about 20 years ago, the Police was my answer for this question. Like it was like the
Which
one
makes
band I
sense.
would have loved to see. And then I saw them, and then they were awesome. And then I saw them again, and they were terrible. So now I don't know what to think. It's like a little bit of like, be careful of what you wish for, or too much of a good thing, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think sometimes when you see those bands, like your bucket list band, the first time it could be like so euphoric that it doesn't really matter, because you're just like, you're so caught up in the moment. I think the first time I saw Kiss, I was like that. And I don't know if they were that good that night, or if I was just like super excited to see Kiss in makeup. And same with Motley Crue. When I saw Motley Crue the first time, and then I think about it, I'm like, was Motley Crue... Actually, Motley Crue's almost a better answer. Was Motley Crue really that good? Because I've seen them other times, and they're pretty terrible live.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think once you see them the first time, everything's new and a surprise. And then it was like things are super cool. And then like the third and fourth time, I found even Iron Maiden like that. Like,
yeah,
first show was awesome, and then the second time you're like, oh yeah, cool. Look, Eddie's still
I think
10 feet tall.
I think because those, especially older bands, like I don't know if it's so much like of a newer band, but like older bands that have been doing it for a while, like they have a set thing that they're gonna do, right? Like you know that like you said, Eddie's gonna come out, or like Gene's gonna gonna light his fire and stuff like that, right? Like and you know kind of when it's going to happen, so it's less exciting. Maybe that's some of it too.
All right, my answer is going to be, I would like to see like a 1985 era Van Halen.
Ooh.
But again, like at a 1,000 or 1,500 person small,
like a smaller venue,
hall.
yeah.
Yeah, but playing like they're playing in front of 80,000 people at Wembley.
I don't think Van Halen ever probably didn't play like that.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably how they got to where they were.
Yeah, I don't imagine them ever phoning it in. Although I did see David Lee Roth the other day online. So he should really maybe pack it in. He might have to call it a day.
Yeah, it's tough. He's just a gigolo.
Yeah, that's all he'll ever be.
Maybe he should become just a juggalo.
Whoa,
Tap into a whole new market.
Juggalos, man. It's for all my juggalos and juggalettes. So before we get into our topic, Justin, it's been a bit. What have you been listening to?
That's a good question. My listening to list is unsurprisingly pretty short. Despite there being so many good releases, I just have not made the time or effort to really get into very many of them.
Well, if you've been dying from the plague, that'll limit listening. No one wants to listen to music when you're sick.
Yeah, and I think I've just just haven't put the effort forward. So I need to make some playlists and start finding some new stuff. So a couple ones that I did listen to is the new Catbite album, Doom Garden, which I found pretty good, like a little bit hit and miss. I found it less kind of poppy and fun than their previous albums, and I'm not sure what sound or what really changed with it. I just kind of sort of felt like it didn't have quite the same like pop feel of their last album.
Yeah, I see. I guess I see that. It felt really like it's pretty poppy though. Like the one with the guy from Fall Out Boy is pretty poppy.
And maybe it's like just as poppy but less ska.
Less ska, yeah, like less third wave.
For sure, yeah. That's probably where I'm.
It's definitely poppier. I feel like it's ready for the radio.
Yeah.
Which is good or bad. Like the first time I heard it, I was like kind of felt that same sort of way, and then a couple times later, I was like, oh, it's pretty catchy. So. But I feel like it's ready for radio play or ready for like, it wouldn't shock me if it kind of blew up outside of the normal realms of their genre.
Yeah, a little bit outside of the genre.
Yeah. It almost feels like it's set that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it sit a little bit and see how it goes. I've also been listening to the Raging Nathan's new album, Room for One More, which is pretty good. I've been liking it. Pretty consistent with a lot of their other stuff, and
they're just a consistent band, eh?
For sure, yeah. And it has been, at least by their standards, a long time before they put something out.
They fooled us with that EP the week before their full length.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was that period there where it felt like every week they were putting out a new song. Potentially were. But
yeah, it seemed like they were like, it was all the time. And then the last one, which I figured you'd have something to say about too, is At Peace, which is the new Propagandhi album.
I figured you were going to bring it up. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm still looking for it doesn't have, or it doesn't yet. Nothing's really hitting me as like the sort of banger of a track, like some of their last albums, or like one where you're like, they've just like taken that heaviest riff and really rolled with it. This one seems almost like they're kind of jamming at times.
Oh, that's a totally good way of describing it. Because I've been trying to figure out how to describe it, because it's still heavy. But yeah, there's no oomph to it.
Yeah, it sort of feels like it's like a cool riff mixed with like the drummer, like incredibly talented drummer. There's an incredibly talented band overall, but sort of trying to work through songs.
It's really good though, right? Like it's good, but it doesn't feel like I agree with you. Like nothing on the albums grabbed me where I'm like, oh, I gotta listen to that again. Like in the same way that other albums have. But at the same time, when I listen to the album, I really enjoy it. It's just there's no oomph to it. No like, and I agree. Like now that you say the jamming thing, it does feel like they just were like writing a song and then we're like, this works. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like I won't. There's nothing bad about it. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I know I got some flack in our WhatsApp group chat when I said that I didn't love it at first. It is growing on me quite a bit. But again, I don't know which song stands out. Maybe the one about the cat one might, where it's like, would you?
Yeah, or yeah, I can't remember whatever the other. I think the track they put out before that one, too. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I'm with you. Like nothing has jumped out where I'm like, that's the song that I know I'm going to listen to for the rest of the year. And
maybe that's good, right? Like if they wrote the same album again, maybe it would be kind of boring. They are pretty good at like.
Such a good point. Yeah,
they're pretty good at like changing their sound enough to make them interesting, and I think a lot of people, when they got really heavy, bailed on them and then maybe came back and were like, oh, they're really good. So maybe that's something with this one too. Like maybe in like as time goes on, you'll be like, oh, this is really good. Like I see what they were doing.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have one more, or is the three the?
That's it. I could squeeze out three, and one of them was a low hanging fruit because everyone's going to talk about Propagandhi.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's worth talking about. I mean, I think it's safe to say they're probably one of the best bands in the genre. So yep. Any good talk about them is warranted. Before I get into my list, there's a couple things I wanted to mention that I was digging that weren't really albums yet. The new Atari song, have you heard it?
No, I saw it pop up, and I might have listened to it once, but I cannot recall.
So here's the thing. Basically, a lot of the Atari stuff in the last, 20 years has been meh at best, right? Let's say. It seems to be a lot of them just rewriting or just re-releasing the songs that they've had out forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that band or whatever. But this song, the first time I heard it, I was like, it's okay. It sounds kind of boring. It's kind of mid. But as I've listened to it more and more, I really like it. I would recommend listening to the single. It's a lot like the stuff that's off the... I can't remember what that album's called now. The one that with Boys of Summer on it, whatever that album is.
Yeah, the one with the sort of brownish, like photography-ish.
That's probably their last one, and that album's kind of hit or miss in itself, but it sounds like a lot of stuff on there, and it's really good, worth checking out if you like the Ataris. I mean, if you don't like the Ataris, there's no way you're gonna like it, but I was pleasantly surprised. The other thing is I'm really looking forward to this new compilation put out by Sketchy Records, and it's called Calgary Calling, and it features 15 local bands. I think I'm just really excited that someone put out a compilation again. Like, that's worth getting. like I don't think labels put out compilations, or people are doing it much, and for good reason. I mean, it's a hard sell, but I'm really looking forward to picking this up and like just seeing it. It seems like it's a lot of younger bands in Calgary too. So just listening to stuff, it's like, I'm not going to lie and say I go to like a lot of all ages shows or shows in general. So it's kind of cool to see that someone is putting out something like this, and like just be a good way to get in touch with stuff that's going on in the city. So really looking forward to it, hoping to discover some new music from that. The albums I've been listening to are, the first one is Little Low's album Sunshine Guilt. It's their debut full length. If you've listened to our podcast before, you know how much I like Save Ends. And we've had Christine on the podcast as a special guest at one point. And at that time, she had just formed Little Low on the West Coast with her partner, Mike. And they moved back to Massachusetts and picked up some new members. I think two of the members are from Save Ends now, and one of them's in No Trigger. So it's very, if you like Save Ends, you'll love it. Christine's really good at writing the emo pop punk stuff, so it's really good. Love it. What else was I listening to? A local band called Night Committee. Do you know Night Committee?
The name sounds really familiar.
Like they've been around for a while, but I'd always seen their name and I don't really know them. Apparently it came out of the ashes of Hot Little Rocket, so it's a Calgary band that a lot of people really liked in town. This album is very power poppy and it's very Calgary. I don't know how to describe that unless you live in Calgary. It's got a very Calgary sound to it, like shades of that 90s all ages scene, like where bands like the Everyman and Hot Little Rocket and Mego and stuff were around. There's even a song about Carpenters Union Hall and a song about Daryl Sutter. Just a great album. We're checking out.
Really laying into the CalCon.
Yeah, they were really laying into it. I mean, the Carpenters Union Hall song is super nostalgic. Another album I'm listening to is another Calgary band called Hazard. So that's two CalCon picks in a row here. Talk about glazing Calgary, I guess. Hey, Hazard are very different than Night Committee. They're a thrash band with like power metal tendencies. They do a lot of like the dueling, like the Iron Maiden-esque guitar stuff. I kind of thought, as I was listening to this, I was thinking it's so interesting that like, there's a sub-metal scene that never really jived with the punk scene here. I always thought it was interesting.
Yeah, they were very separate.
They're very separate, and it's weird because, especially, I mean, now it's a little bit different. Where the city's much bigger and there's a lot more opportunity for bands. But back then, like when we were going to shows, you had a multitude of genres playing like an all ages show or a bar show. Like you might have like, and I'm not saying this happened, but like you could have Tegan and Sarah, but you could also have like a hardcore band play that night too, and it would be on the same bill. And then like some like funk band or something, or a ska band or something, and it would all be on the same event. But there was very few metal bands, and
yeah, there was not a lot of metal.
And there's a couple of bigger metal bands and stuff like that. They just never like crossed over there too often. There was a bit there was like I feel like maybe there was like a band like called Pasado. Maybe they were kind of metalish, right?
Yeah, I think they were a little.
And there was that
certainly metalish. Yeah,
there was that band where the guy you went to school with at Mount Royal. I can't remember his metal band. They were like Metallica-y. But I don't think they played. They didn't play all ages shows. They played like Metro and stuff like that. Anyway, point being is I rarely heard about our metal bands, but love Hazard, came across them, didn't know they were from Calgary. Third Dimension's their third full length from them. It picks up after their last album called Delirium, which is awesome. If you like thrash or crossover, these guys are right up there with any of the big bands doing it these days. The artwork is awesome, and it's done by the same guy who does the municipal waste stuff. If you're into any of that stuff, I 100% recommend checking out Hazard.
I was going to say, were they the band that opened for... Oh, 3 Inches of Blood.
No, that's Riot before. That
was right before. Okay,
and they're a really good metal band too. Like, and they're like they play in Europe and do big shows and stuff like that. But again, like they're never crossing over into too many of the bands that we saw, and they don't seem to be playing any of the bars that we like. It's a weird. It's kind of cool that this whole metal genre has existed outside of our bubble. For my last pick, I'm stealing your throwback idea. I was away on vacation and finally got some reading in. And I read a book called Everybody Loves Our Town, which is an oral history of the grunge scene in Seattle and the Washington area. First off, 100% recommend this book if you're into music history stuff. It's really cool, lots of deep dives into some stuff from that era. A bunch of bands I never really knew about, like heard names and stuff, but never really knew about. I was into that scene a lot when I when I was younger because it kind of crossed over with metal. And my uncle, we were actually living with my grandparents at the time, and my uncle had really got me into Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, and then Nirvana and Pearl Jam. So I was into that stuff before I moved into more punk stuff. But in the book, I learned a lot about bands that were casually mentioned. I don't think maybe that would have crossed a like 11 or 12-year-old me, or probably yourself. But bands like Malfunction, Green River, Screaming Trees, the U-Men, and this band called Tad. And that's the band I ended up going with. Do you know Tad?
Isn't is that Tad Doyle? Is that the guy's name?
Maybe. It sounds familiar, actually. Yeah. You do know it?
Yeah. I think he's like a big guitar playing dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in the book they talk a lot about how like important Tad was with all these bands, and that and I was just like, I don't know this band at all. Like, so I checked it out. Their album called 8-Way Santa. It was put out on Sub Pop. It's pretty heavy and grungy, and it rules. Some funny things in the book they talk about is they had some legal issues with the album. One was they got sued by Pepsi for calling a song Jack Pepsi and using a Pepsi logo, because it was about getting drunk on Jack and Pepsi and then driving around a lake doing donuts on a truck.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an autobiography.
And Pepsi sued them. They also used a pic for the album that they found in a garage sale of two like hippies, and the guy had his hand on a girl's breast. The lady found out and sued the band because she was a hardcore Christian and they didn't want people to find out about her past. So they had to change their artwork.
Don't take that picture.
Yeah, pre-internet. No one warned people that things could come back and haunt you. Especially at garage sales.
Yeah. Also, who finds that picture and is like, whoa, well, I better put that out to that pottery set and see if I can get 25 cents for it.
I just think it was funny that they were like, this picture's great. And then the guy in the picture, I think, liked was involved in the music scene, but he had nothing to do with any of these bands, and he just saw the record in the store, and he's like, wait a minute, that's me. And he was cool with it, but the girl was not. Anyway.
That's funny.
And Rolling Stone has it as one of their top 50 grunge albums you should own. So if you're into anything like that, you probably know about it, and I missed out, but it's worth checking out 8-Way Santa by Tad.
Cool. Awesome picks, Mike.
Yeah, I did a good job.
You did. Lots to listen to.
Lots to listen to. There you go, Justin. You don't even have to make a playlist. You can just listen to what I told you to listen to.
I can just go back and listen to this.
All right. So, Justin, for our topic, we are doing baseball walk-on songs. It's called walk-on song, right?
Yeah.
Walk up or walk on? Walk on, right?
I think walk on.
Yeah. Anyway.
Walk up works too. Either way.
It's the song a batter walks up to the plate to. And we stumbled upon this idea in our group chat with our friends. One of our friends' kids was looking up a suggestion for his kid's walk-up song or walk-on song, and it led to a good discussion. There were some really good ideas tossed out, most not from this genre, a couple. Obviously, there are like a lot of like hip-hop or metal or classic rock songs that probably work fairly well, but it got me thinking that this could be a fun topic to discuss, because there's got to be some great stuff that floats in this genre of music. Do other sports have this? Like hockey has it for goal songs, sort of.
Yeah, hockey's got goal songs.
And teams come out to a song usually, right? Every team's got their own songs.
Yeah, every team, like, yeah, your home team. I think in all sports, almost all of them use the Foo Fighters. Like, I think that's where Dave Grohl's made most of his money. I feel like every year for the Flames anyways, it's just like, well, how do we cut some video to a Foo Fighters track?
Basketball's got it. Like the Bulls have that iconic song for sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of who sings it now. It's like a yacht rock guy.
Mm-hmm. I can tell. I know exactly the song you're talking about. I just can't think of what it is.
On top of that, sidebar, did you see the video of the Pope? Someone cut it to the Pope coming out to that when they announced the Pope.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah. You're a golfer. Does golf have walk-up songs?
No, there's no music in golf.
What about Waste Management? Waste Management's like the fun tour, right?
No, not even Waste Management. In live golf, aka fake golf, there's music that plays. Like they usually have a DJ and stuff like that. But I don't think there's some other weird stuff. I've never watched live, but I think there's teams, and maybe teams have certain songs, or I don't know how that would work. But they also have to cover 5 square miles of ground with audio. I don't know how that would work, but
yeah, I guess that would be kind of weird. Do you have when you tee up, do you have a song playing in your head?
I don't. No, but I almost always listen to music when I play golf.
Like even
if I'm
Just to
If
relax.
I'm by myself and stuff, yeah. Yeah, just nice to have something like.
I was thinking, like, when I was thinking about the list, did you suggest anything to Boats' kid?
I did not a lot of punk stuff. I mean, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, like leave your
I
punk
think-
ones for this, but I was just curious if you came
Yeah.
up with anything in there.
Yeah, my favorite one was is it Mr. Brightside?
The Killer
Not
song?
the Killer song. No, the ELO song.
Is it called Mr. Brightside too?
I thought so.
It might be.
but
I think you're
maybe-
right.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Mr. Blue Sky. That's
what
it.
is.
That's it.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky was the one that I kept like playing in my head over and over again.
That is a
'Cause
good
it's
song.
such like a like head bopping, like clap along kind of song.
I went with the one I was most stoked that I came up with was the Jungle Brothers. I got it like that because it samples "If You Can Make It If You Try" by Sly and the Family Stone, and I was like, that would be perfect, but it doesn't work for this episode.
Yeah.
So that brings us to baseball. Do you like baseball, Justin? Because I fucking hate it, but I'd like to know what your thoughts are on baseball.
They're very well aligned with yours. I don't get it. I've been to a number of games. I've seen the Yankees play the Jays. I've seen, like we went to a game in Colorado and had like
We had amazing
great
seats.
seats. It's supposed to be the best arena or best stadium, one of the best stadiums for baseball. I went and saw the Dodgers last year and saw like Ohtani hit a home run in Dodger Stadium on a sold out Saturday afternoon. And like just I could do without ever spending a second on that sport again.
Like I find like I will say the stadiums are nice. They're kind of cool to be in, but I get bored so quick. I don't understand how people love this sport so much. And I mean, like, I get that I don't drink, so maybe that's some of it. But like, I don't know. And even that Colorado game we went to, we saw a person's fingers get blown off. Like legitimately, like catching a foul ball, like their fingers explode, and I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, that is the thing I remember the most of that.
And we were like right on the field basically. And the Sox game, I mean, I don't think the Sox are good, but we did.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that game.
But we did. Yeah, that's forgettable. We did see some fireworks, and one of the Jersey Shore people throw a pitch, and potentially DJ. Every time I think about baseball, I can think about it as like the thing on The Simpsons when Homer goes to the game sober and they do the play-by-play, and then he goes, and now there's a beach ball on the field, and the ball boys are discussing who is going to get it.
Yeah, it's a sport where it's not even a sport. It's just a thing that happens.
But people love it. Like,
yeah,
I noticed like more and more people like it now than like I ever remember as a Canadian. I mean, I think it's always been popular in America, but I feel as a Canadian, like more and more people love baseball now.
Oh yeah, like everyone out here goes out for that like Toronto series in
Seattle or whatever.
Seattle, like they play Seattle over the Canada Day long weekend or something. And
did you play baseball? Like my parents made me play
No.
1 year. I fucking hated it. All I remember is that I played first base and some kid tossed a ball and it hit me right in the mouth and busted my lip for a while. And I fucking hated how tight the pants were. I'm not a tight pant guy.
yeah, I played softball like as an adult on like a rec league team because everyone's just like, oh, it's awesome. You just like hang out and drink and socialize, and the whole time I'm like, this is actually making me bored of drinking. Like even that isn't like all of this is terrible.
Justin, this is making me like you even more than I already like you, because I felt like maybe you had converted in these last few years just because of like corporate culture and like just being older men now. I feel like people feel like you should like baseball. I just don't get it.
No,
I don't like playing
I've
it either.
Just leaned fully into golf.
Yeah, golf and baseball are similar enough. At least golf knows what it is.
Hey, let's end this right now.
Golf knows what it is.
That's actually very true. Yeah,
It's not going
it
to
doesn't
pretend.
pretend to be anything more.
No. Anyway, walk-on songs. I do love the idea of that. It's like a wrestling theme entrance or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's great. That would be the most exciting thing about a game for me. So, Justin, what in your mind makes a great walk-up song?
This was like the big question that really helped guide a lot of my choices. So my sort of general criteria is you need 10 and minimum 10 seconds, maybe up to 20 seconds or 25 seconds of time that has enough of a hook for a song that it gets the fans into it. So it's got to have some like energy and excitement to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it can't have lyrics.
That part?
So all of my songs don't have lyrics for the first at least 25 seconds.
That's a good theory.
Because at that point, it's sort of like you might have to fade it out, or it becomes something like then it becomes a little bit more about the song versus like the energy of the song, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
No,
that
so
makes a lot of
where
sense.
I went to. And then if you can, like something that gets the crowd into it, like ideally it's something that gets the crowd into it right away, right? Like they know like, oh, it's this song. That means that some fucking guy's coming up to bat who is going to take 10 minutes to strike out. So they need the excitement. There's nothing else going on in the fucking game. So at least give them some good tunes.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And I would agree. Like you have 30 to 40 seconds realistically for it to be catchy enough. So yeah, like the instrumental part has to be, the hook in that has to be good. I wasn't clever enough to just get that. I did have some songs, but I also think that if you were clever enough, if you could get your song to mean something is also good. Like if it had something to do with the team, the city, or a nickname or a style, it works as well. Not that I don't.
Oh yeah, like if it like fits the player.
Like if your name was like the Sandman, your nickname was the Sandman, and you use Enter Sandman or something like that. Then it's okay. I did do a quick glance of this season's walk-on songs. Most teams have it on their website, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even think to look there.
And there was like 3 teams that didn't. One team only put 3 up, and I was like, do only 3 guys have songs? Or did somebody get lazy at the web on the web design and was just like, no one's looking at this list?
Yeah, he's got 162 games to get that up. No one's.
Not shocking though. A lot of hip hop, a lot of pop songs, some classic rock. There was some grunge. Rooster came up by Alice in Chains like at least 3 times. And then there were some oddball ones. Like someone had a Kids Bop song, which I think's funny. Someone had like, which means I think they put some effort into it. And they were like, I'm going to pick this because it's so random. Someone had like a Dean Martin song, which I almost respect that more than picking like Lose Yourself by Eminem. Because I feel like a lot of people had Lose Yourself by Eminem. You're like, okay, that's like, I get it. It's got that good hook to it, but it's also like redundant,
like the
right?
lowest hanging fruit of
or
songs.
Enter Sandman, unless your nickname is the Sandman. But same sort of thing, like or like an ACD song. Like, sure, everyone knows that. I'm guessing like a lot of them is picked because you can't really pick too many obscure bands. You probably have to pick something that appeals to a giant stadium of people that are bored out of their minds. But there were some outliers in the leagues. Someone on the Blue Jays uses Holiday by Green Day. Someone on the Rays uses Blink 182. I don't know what team it is, but someone used the Melvins, which I thought was interesting. Someone used The Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World. There was somebody, and he's not, I know this for, it wasn't on any of the teams this year, but someone used New Noise by Refused.
Wow, that's awesome.
But that was it. The rest of it was pretty like low hanging. There was a lot of like Kendrick this year. You're like, okay, well, you picked the most popular song that's going on right now, but
yeah,
good work. No one's looking to athletes for creativity, but yeah, that's it. I don't know if you have anything to say before we get into your picks.
No, let's hop right into it.
All right, what's your first pick?
All right, first pick. I'm going with perhaps like the low-hanging fruit of punk rock bands, or at least for a punk rock podcast. Of course, it's seems pretty obvious, but I guess we didn't catch this album because we started with the year 96, and this came out a couple of years earlier in 1994. It's off the 5th studio album from NOFX, the album being Punk in Drublic. And the song I went with was "The Cause," which I think starts off to me it's almost like the most typical NoFX song in such a good way. Like it's like the best of what they can do to start a song. The whole band hits it all together, and it just kind of like builds up quite nicely, kind of leading up to the chorus. And although I said like songs shouldn't start with lyrics, and this one does, I think it just sort of like comes together quite nicely. It doesn't get into like the super heavy part, but even if you like that comes in, I shouldn't say super heavy part, like the more rocking part, it kind of builds nicely to that. And then if you needed to fade it out because you're stepping up to bat or whatever, it leads itself quite nicely to do that. So I just thought if it's going to be a punk rock walk-on song, let's hit it with one of the best in punk rock. So
I wonder if anyone, maybe we can hear this from listeners. I wonder if anybody's ever used NoFX, because I feel like there's probably like a few bands that could maybe cross into. I mean, like there's got to be something. Someone maybe used NoFX or Pennywise or something like that at some point.
Yeah, like I wonder if like 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not talking now, but like
It's classic. Literally, like the song is older than most of the people playing baseball. So
oh, for sure, great song, great album. I mean, I don't think we need to talk about the album.
yeah,
This is the good thing about the topic thing. We no longer need to talk about the album. I don't need to know about do all the research on that. We just have to justify picking a song.
Yeah, there's no wrong picks.
Oh, there is. I'll tell you if it's wrong. I'm sure you'll tell me.
All right, well let's hear what you. No, I think it's a pretty straightforward good pick. If you haven't heard NOFX, it's probably not going to be the time to start, or maybe it is. I don't know. It's classic rock at this point.
I don't know how you would have
30 years ago,
found this podcast if you've never heard NOFX, but
yeah, exactly.
kudos
yeah.
to you. Punk and Drublic. It's new but good.
Yeah, it's literally the I want to hold your hand of picks.
My first pick was a late addition to the list, and ironically, it was because I was driving to soccer the other night. It came on shuffle, and the intro to the song instantly felt like it would be a great thing to hear on the PA as a batter walked up to the plate. The song is Smash It Up. The band is the International Noise Conspiracy, and it's off Survival Sickness. I just think it's just a great song for that. It's got that like same sort of thing. The instrumental part to it's really catchy. If you don't get to the words, it's good enough to like know what it is. I could see people clapping to it or something like that. Also, you want to smash a hit, right? So smash it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like smashing some runs, or whatever that baseball terminology is.
It comes off technically their first full length called Survival Sickness. Came out in 2000 on Burning Heart and Epitaph. Do you like the International Noise Conspiracy? I know you're a huge Refused fan. Like I know that's one of your most favorite bands. But do you like International Noise Conspiracy? I mean, it's a little bit different it's a lot different than Refused.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly got its place, and I actually really like this song a lot. I think I hold just a heavy bias against them because they're not Refused, which is not a fair thing to say about a band, and I know I'm totally wrong for doing that, but
there's no wrong answer.
At the time, there's lots of wrong. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They would be wrong.
Really makes you think.
Yeah, I just could never give them the proper listen that I probably should have. But I'm sure it's good.
I was pretty excited when I heard them, and I really liked this album and the next one, and then I fell off completely. Actually, the next album's got like Capitalism Stole My Virginity, which has probably got good walk-up energy too. And nothing says anti-capitalism like Major League Baseball, right?
Major League Baseball.
Want to see me hit some dingers? Anyway, that's the song I went with, so I don't know if I have much more to say about it. Hopefully when you're listening to it, you can imagine a batter coming up to it. Maybe he's from Sweden.
Probably not. I don't think there's ever been a Swedish baseball player.
Yeah, Swedes in baseball. Although,
Maybe.
No, Europeans aren't going to play baseball.
No.
They got better things going on, like
Exactly.
snooker. Darts. Yeah, you know what's up with Europe and their darts. Darts is a big deal,
Better
eh?
than baseball. Yeah.
Mildly. But still, yes.
Awesome. First picks for walk-on songs. I'm going with The Cause by NOFX.
Smash It Up by the International Noise Conspiracy.
Is it for the money? No, it isn't for the fun. It's a plan, a scam, a diagram. It's for the benefit of everyone. You gotta have a little respect. Subterranean ideals. Traditional neglect. Reflect on how it makes you feel. Because we're just doing it for the cause. No, it isn't for the fortune. It isn't for the fame. It's a scheme, a dream, or but a reign. We want everyone to think the same. Cause you know what you know is right. And you
So for pick number 2 for walk-on songs, I'm going to continue with my notion of like what's going to get a crowd into it right away, what's something that they know and should be familiar, still within the genre, but a song that I would like to think that a much broader segment of the audience has heard. And they would have heard this in the 1999 video game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which all of us spent forever playing. And as soon as that game starts, in the very first level, when you smash through the glass of the warehouse, in comes the song Superman by Los Angeles, California's very own Goldfinger. And I thought, what a great way to come out into an arena full of people with a song that everyone knows, or at least perhaps have heard if they've played that video game, even if they don't know the band. And I think when I think of like video games and like even that tie into action sports and how much punk was part of that, and how much exposure those bands got to like a much broader audience. And I would think a lot of people probably never, ventured out as far as to like necessarily buy a Goldfinger album or perhaps go to shows. They would still know the song. I know so many people who would know the song the second they heard it, even though they've never really figured out who the band was.
Because of Tony Hawk, for sure.
Because of Tony Hawk, yeah. Particularly just right off the first level. So,
is it the first song on the first level?
Yeah, I think it's the first. Yeah, it's like
crazy.
Yeah, like I remember playing Tony Hawk and obviously like knowing who Goldfinger was and like knowing that album and just like starting a game. And it's not like you should be surprised playing a skateboard game that there's a punk song in it, but like immediately just being like, holy shit, that's the band that I love, and they're in this video game. And
sidebar on the Goldfinger. That album better than the self-titled?
Better album. I think the 2 singles, like I think Here in Your Bedroom and Mabel are better songs from the self-titled.
Superman? Superman's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to listen to both albums tomorrow and figure this out. But I think the Hang Ups is a better album for sure. But maybe now the single thing, I may be torn now. You might have flipped a switch there.
It might be like, I think Here in Your Bedroom, then Superman, then Mabel.
Maybe. Is Mabel like great, or is it just so nostalgic to our friend group?
Yeah, maybe it is. And I love the drum intro of it, like the little 3-note fill. It's so great.
On the topic of Tony Hawk, did you see that 3 and 4 are coming out in a month? I'm pretty excited to play them again. I don't remember even playing 4, but 3 was fun. Yeah,
I think 3 was really good, like better than 1 and 2.
Really, I really liked. I forgot how good 1 and 2 were until they came out again, and then I got hooked on it. I don't play a lot of video games, so I was pretty stoked to replay them. They were fun.
Yeah, I played I got 1 and 2 when it came out, and I was just like, this is maybe not as fun as I remember.
No, I had fun. I just replayed it not long ago. But I'm pretty simple-minded when it comes to video games. So, but yeah, great pick. Is there anything else baseball related to this song that you want to say?
No, but I would 100% be willing to bet that this was
somebody must have
like
used
an
this.
LA like Angels or Dodgers walk-on song
or whatever team would they were called that month, because I think the Angels have been the Anaheim Angels, the
maybe.
California Angels. Is Goldfinger from LA or are they from Northern California? They're from LA. Right?
From LA. Yeah.
But they have that song Fuck LA, right?
They do. I think you'd only say that if you're from LA.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Awesome. Great pick. Love that song. Love that album. Unapologetically love that band. I think I would actually go see Goldfinger if they came to play.
That'd be great. I think that'd be awesome to see. See if they'll let me into a third show for free.
You can do it. Just although that drummer is no longer in the band, right? He hasn't been in that band for a while. I think it's probably just the main guy that's still left.
It's probably just the lead singer.
Yeah. Okay. So my next album is kind of a cheat. It's a cover song. The band is Crazy in the Brains. The song is Sweet Jane, and it's off the album Summer Soiree Mixtape. Cover of a Velvet Underground song. It's Velvet Underground that did Sweet Jane first, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a Cowboy
Junkies. Very ballady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Cowboy Junkies version too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's a bunch. I feel like it's a song that gets covered a lot. I picked this song because whenever it comes on, I automatically have that like kind of strut feeling, like you're about to strut into a room.
You're a big strutter. You love the strut.
I do love the strut. The strut is my move, especially if I was still drinking. The strut and bob your head, snap your fingers. Very John Travolta. Anyway,
I feel like you're not a clapper, but I can see you being a head bobber and a snapper.
Yeah, I do that. Do you know Crazy in the Brain or no?
No.
Okay.
I know Insane in the Membrane.
Also good. They've been described as xylopunks because they use a xylophone, which is an interesting thing. I didn't come up with that. That was what I actually read on a website. I think they're more like a folky street punk. They have like a lo-fi like a lo-fi rancid almost. But they do have some xylophone. Really good band. They have a really good summer feel to them. This version of Sweet Jane, they've updated the lyrics, kind of how like the Ataris updated Boys of Summer. Anyway, it's just got that oomph and swagger you need when you're walking up to hit some dingers. So that's why I went with it.
Cool, good pick. I can't place the cover, so
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I can't place their version of the cover. So
Or the band. You're not big on the xylophone scene, hey?
no, I must have skipped over it.
You peaked at the NOFX xylophone.
Yeah, my music anthology runs out at W. So
Anyway, that's all I really have to say about it. Like I said, it's just got that little bit of pop to it that I think would really hit the feels on a hot summer day in a boring ballpark.
Pick number 2, I'm throwing it back to 1997 off their second album, Hang Ups. It's Goldfinger with Superman.
Crazy in the Brains, Sweet Jane.
Sit Your baby girl loves Beyonce, so I'll show some love for your family. Beauty was stolen from the people and brought back under the concept of luxury, so fuck that. Blood in the air, now you desensitized. But if we made in God's image, we all gods and guys. I say it one more time. Say it loud with me, yeah. Anyone who ever had all, and I'm going break it, baby. Sweet Jane, sweet Jane, sweet Jane, sweet Jane, yeah.
So, Mike, I thought it would be a good time to call you out for picking a cover for your second song. I thought that was maybe off limits. I thought that was a bit of a cop-out. And I think I'm just shocked and maybe a little bit embarrassed that you would do that. So for my third pick, I've chosen a cover.
Excellent. Cover songs are definitely in.
Yeah, and again, it's you got to create that fan connection and just get them hyped up. And if somebody did a really great cover of a song that was pretty well known, I think it's a great way to just get them all hyped up and get out there onto home plate or first base or wherever you start in a baseball game, baseball match, whatever it's called.
Cricket? Does cricket have walk-up songs?
A try? Is that what do you do in cricket? What are they called? I don't know. That's got to be more exciting than baseball. I'd give that a shot.
It goes on for days, but at least I bet you the season's not 360 days or whatever baseball is.
Yeah, exactly.
180. Was it 182 games? Something like ridiculous like that. And
162.
And seriously, sorry, I know I'm ranting, but some of the teams got to be out of it by game 30. And then you got to be a fan to watch for the rest of the season. For example, hockey, if your team's out of it by Christmas, you're like, oh, this rest of the season's going to be boring. Baseball, you still have basically equivalent of 3 hockey seasons.
Yeah.
To still go. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's where that White Sox game was the tickets were $15, and at the third inning there was literally dozens of people in the stands, but maybe 5 or 6 dozen people. It was less than 100 because I did a quick count of every person I could see, and it was less than 100.
They did have the Amazon kind of buying of booze and stuff.
Yeah, we can just walk in and grab something.
So confusing to me. Anyway, that was the best part of that ballpark, and we saw Chris Chelios also threw out a pitch. There was 2 pitches. That was even crazier. It was Chris Chelios, and then they did the dude from Jersey Shore also threw out a pitch.
Oh yeah, was that a 7th inning thing?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? You can't do that. That's stupid.
Stupid game. All right, what were we doing? Oh yeah, I was doing cover for my third pick, covering a pretty well-known classic rock song, but bringing a bit of ska punk to it, and of course some great as the song progresses, there's some great gang vocals and just a lot of horns and a lot of great stuff going on. So the band is from Gainesville, Florida, and they are Less Than Jake, and the cover is Cheap Trick's Surrender.
Oh, nice. Love Surrender.
Yeah, it's like the original version would be a great walk-up song, and then the Less Than Jake song version is just like a little bit faster, a little bit more rocky, but it's that whole like guitar open strumming, and then the drum sort of like, you know, like there's kind of like the big fill to carry it through.
Cheap Trick's got that strut thing.
Yeah,
That's
the
beauty of it.
this is a rocking strut song, and I just figured like if a guy came out to this, like everyone would know the song right away, but maybe not this version of it.
Great. I love that song. I love the cover too. The cover is actually really good. Like,
It's a really good cover.
sometimes when you pick a song like that, it's hard to do a good cover of it without it sounding cheesy, especially in that era when bands like Less Than Jake were covering songs. Like, it could go either way, and they just nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't try to make it into a joke or anything like that. I think they just tried to do like a really good cover of a really good song by a somewhat okay band.
No, Cheap Trick's awesome. You don't like Cheap Trick? Dude, Southern Girls is like, would be a fucking rad walk-up song if we were picking classic rock. I loved playing Southern Girls when I used to DJ at Broken City on the patio. It's a great like strut song. It's not even live at Budokan.
I was trying to make a live at the Budokan reference. Like, I only listen to bands that are played live at the Budokan.
Well, then you should be listening to Cheap Trick. Anyway, great pick, Justin. Anything else you want to say about
Maybe
it?
that'll be a retro pick for me next throwback.
Live at
next episode.
Cheap Trick live at Budokan?
Yeah, I do love a live album.
No, yeah. Live albums could go the way of baseball for me for the most part. It's the cricket of albums. My third pick. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun here. My third pick is from a band from Boston, which I think we've been picking a lot of bands from that Boston Eastern Seaboard area lately, hey?
The Seaboard, yeah.
Yeah. The band is Doom Riders. The album is Black Thunder, and the song is Black Thunder. Doom Riders is a side project.
I was going to ask which Bosstones or Dropkick Murphy song did you pick?
No, neither of those. Do you know Doom Riders or no?
I don't.
Doom Riders is a side project from the bassist from Converge. This album came out in 2005. And I know you've brought up my affinity for picking albums based solely on artwork. And this is one of those albums that I bought based totally on that. I clearly remember going to Sloth when it was still in its old location, seeing this album with a skeleton riding a black winged horse with electric bolts and neon writing. And I was like, yeah, I'll get that this week. It did not disappoint. Just great rock and roll, kind of in the style of the Bronx, but like a little bit heavier. The reason I picked this song is because it's got a real party riff vibe to it, which I think also works for walk-up songs.
Yeah, that's a good call. I didn't, like the party anthem kind of thing is pretty good.
Like, you're not going to want to sing along to it, but it has that like Thin Lizzy Boys Are Back in Town feel to it, but it's like much heavier. So that's the reason I went with it. So the little thing I'm trying to think of how I'm going to describe this. One thing that's different is I wouldn't use the beginning of the song. The song starts out amazing and totally could work, but there's a part about 39 seconds in that has dueling guitars, like Thin Lizzy style or Maiden-esque, and it's like just a solid riff. So that's the part I would use for my walk-up song. So I'd have to do some editing there if you were the baseball DJ, but you probably have time in between.
Yeah, you could cut it live each game if you wanted to.
Anyway, Doom Riders are rad. 100% recommend checking this album out, especially if you like bands like the Bronx, or I guess if you like Converge. A lot more palatable and rock and roll than Converge, though. I don't think I've ever checked out any of the other releases, but I think they have at least like 2 or 3 other ones. But this one always just stuck with me. Again, killer artwork. Can't go wrong with a skeleton riding a horse.
That's awesome. And 2-part guitars.
Yeah, love the 2-part guitars.
Just like we built the city.
Yep, that's how rock and roll was built. Yeah, that's all I have to really say about that.
All right, third picks for a summer at the old ballpark there. This is off the album Anthem from 2003. It's Less Than Jake with their cover of Cheap Trick's Surrender.
Doom Riders off the album Black Thunder, and the song is Black Thunder.
give yourself away. Mother says your mother's right, she's really up on things. Before we married, mommy served in the wax in the Philippines. Now I heard the wax recruited old maids for the war, but mommy isn't one of those. I've known her all these years. Mommy's alright, daddy's alright, they just seem a little weird. Surrender, surrender, but don't give yourself away. Mommy's alright, daddy's alright, they just seem a little weird. Surrender, surrender, but don't give yourself away. Whatever happened to all the seasons, losers
Okay, fourth picks for baseball walk-on songs for this episode. I'm going back to a compilation, which I know you mentioned at the beginning of the episode, and how great compilations, or it's great to see a compilation coming back out. And 30 plus years ago, compilations were like the bread and butter for a record label to get exposure to their bands, and for like new fans to discover different bands or different genres or different things they hadn't really heard before. So this is one of the compilations that absolutely shaped my musical taste, that got me into so many other bands. I picked it up initially because Rancid and Bad Religion were on it, and then since discovered a number of other awesome bands like SNFU and The Offspring and NOFX and other bands that just pushed me further and further into punk rock. But one of the bands that was on that, I remember liking this song, and of course the compilation I'm talking about is the first Punkorama comp from Epitaph Records. There was one song on it that I remember liking, but never really gave the band a good enough listen to, and up until fairly recently, never really went back and checked them out. But I have a little bit. I've slowly been getting back into them. It's a little bit hard to listen to so many years later because that nostalgia component isn't there, but I think there's probably a reason that they're well regarded amongst their peers. They're obviously a huge influence on Lagwagon and share at least the drummer, if not a couple other members. Fat Mike cited them as the reason that NOFX wanted to get better at playing music, and I think they influenced quite a few other bands, probably Strung Out, Pulley, 10-Foot Pole, a number of those bands as well. The band is RKL, or Rich Kids on LSD, and the song I'm going for a walkout song is off the album Riches to Rags, and the song is We're Back, We're Pissed. And I thought about this one as a bit of an oddball pick for baseball because it's not probably a super well-known song, but there's something about it that's like kind of, not even, I couldn't even say like quintessentially punk, but like that just sort of sets a tone for like a really like a good rock song. It's pretty fast and technical. There's a lot of like drum breakdowns and like sort of fills that lead into the song. And then it sort of kicks in after about 10 or 12 seconds with like a pretty upbeat punk rock rhythm. And then it kind of builds all the way into like a pretty good, like not quite a scream, but a sort of bellowing vocal that leads into the first chorus. And I think that would sort of be like just a great place to fade out and let the guy get up to bat. But a song that would be such a niche pick for someone in the punk rock genre.
Super niche. Great. Actually, you know what? I later on in life, I went back and listened to RKL a lot. I really like them. They're great skate punk, like 80s skate punk kind of stuff. Before the Fat Epitaph sort of sound. I didn't know the Lagwagon thing though. That's interesting.
Yeah, the Dave Ron was the first drummer on. He was the drummer on this album, and then he went on to join Lagwagon after Haas, I think.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah,
that's cool. I always like the song a lot, and maybe just because it sort of it just had that like edge to it that some of the other songs didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's almost I would by no means say that they were a metal band, but it is that sort of like skate punk. There's like that idea of like if they're fast, like it's like speedish, not like speed metal, but like there's a a quickness to the music.
There's an energy to it that's like, which is why I think like a song like that is great for like skateboarding or something like, or a band like that is good for skateboarding and things like that, and for walk-up songs for baseball players.
I think the other cool thing about a band like this is that, I mean, in 1994, I think this is a few albums in for them, but that technical side of music, and it didn't like, I think that helped shape a lot of bands away from like, you don't have to just be like 4 chords and a mosh pit. You can actually like be a pretty proficient musician and find your way through through a punk rock band.
Yeah, I think that's probably why bands like Bad Religion and RKL and Descendants and stuff kind of survived that previous era and got better. I do agree with that. So my next pick's, funny enough, from that same era, specifically nostalgia-wise for me, because this would have been the same time as I was listening to Punkorama CD with you guys and stuff like that. This is an album that I first heard it in our friend Boats' car. For long-time listeners of the podcast, we once brought up Boats and his lore, and it still gets brought up in the WhatsApp group chat every once in a while. So The band is The Smalls. The album is Waste and Tragedy, and the song is MTV.
Wow, what a great pick.
So Boats was one of the first of our friends that had access to a car. I knew some of our friends had cars, but Boats had his parents' car, and they were generous enough to let us drive around the city, basically wrecking a perfectly good vehicle that had no business being lent to a bunch of skitty punk rock kids who were bored in the suburbs. But one of the songs that was always played in there was MTV, and I just remember it being turned up really loud and just thumping in a car that didn't have a subwoofer or anything like that. But it's just got like both that one and that song Easter on this album, both were just like so heavy and thumping. So when I started thinking of songs for the episode, I landed on MTV right away. And it could have been because I finished that grunge book and I was thinking about like that time maybe a little bit, but it just really fit for this topic. I think the song's thunderous, and it sounds like something that you would want to hear in a packed stadium in the same way that a Metallica song is played at a hockey game. You don't have to like the song or anything, but you can feel that energy. And the Smalls are a band from Edmonton. If I don't know if the Smalls were big outside of Canada, but are the Smalls big outside of Canada? Were they?
I think they got signed to Sub Pop.
Were they on Sub Pop?
Maybe their album after this one, may have been Geffen. So I think they did hit like a major U.S. I think they did get like I think Cargo was the first ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they did hit a major label, and then may have disbanded shortly after that. And I thought they were from Taber, Alberta.
I think they're from Edmonton.
Maybe.
Well, I know like
everyone from Alberta is just somewhere from Alberta. So
yeah. Well, I know Corblund's from like somewhere south. Then I feel like when he went to Edmonton, because I feel like the Smalls and like SNFU were like I'd always heard about them.
Yeah,
Edmonton.
They were almost always like a lot of the times you'd see them on bills. Probably
I never heard of the Smalls until you guys.
Yeah, and I think we were sort of like I saw them like at a couple all ages shows, and I would have been quite genuinely too young to be going all ages shows, but I would have been like 12 or 13ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably 12 when I saw them for the first time. So
that's pretty rad. That's a great story. Is that the one where you said your parents dropped you off?
That was I saw I think Chicks Dig It and Field Day play in a field somewhere in the like southeast end of Calgary.
Crazy.
But yeah, all around that time I saw the Smalls play at the Republic.
I don't think I ever saw the Smalls play, to be honest. If I did, no, maybe at the Black Lounge I saw them.
Maybe
play
the Black
once.
Lounge, yeah.
I saw them maybe play once at the Black Lounge.
I would absolutely love a like forest green Smalls t-shirt, and they used to always have like the white square for their logo.
Oh yeah.
Always being like the lower.
Did you have
left
it? Someone
side
had
of the
that.
T-shirt.
Jer Hyde.
I think I used to have that shirt.
Oh, you used to have it? Someone had it.
And I would love to have it
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Smalls are, if you like that kind of stuff, the Smalls are worth checking out. Some definite CanCon. And if you're not into that, or you are, Corblund's solo stuff is really, really good. And I would say Corblund's solo stuff is probably more popular than the Smalls.
100%. Yeah.
Like his alt country stuff is pretty well regarded amongst people that don't necessarily like punk rock even. Yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say. Like I said, just a thunderous, like pounding song, and that beginning of it would just like rock a whole stadium, I think.
Yeah, that's cool, Mike. What a great pick. And some Alcon for us. So.
Alcon. Yeah, that's an Alcon. Not Calcon, not CanCon, Alcon.
Alcon.
It's rat free, 100%. With a side case of measles. Especially if it's from Taber. Oh God!
All right, fourth pick for
really makes you think, Justin.
Really makes you think. Fourth picks for baseball walk-on songs. We're throwing it all the way back to the mid '90s. I went with RKL. We're back. We're pissed.
The Smalls, MTV off Waste and Tragedy.
they can't approach the call. So I think I'll wait. Step soon to get acquainted with my mistake. Got a locker, token queen. Got a shotgun from a magazine. Hit your mark out, promote me, yeah. Don't let Napa, it's everywhere. And I see, as I see, see nothing see coming undone after me. Empty me, empty me. You torture us again, empty me. Got a locker, token queen. Got a shotgun phone magazine. Hit your mark out, mark me, yeah. Not a blood flows everywhere.
Justin, we're in the 7th inning stretch. I think that's what it's called when they take a break in baseball for no apparent reason. But
Wait, why would we be in the 7th inning stretch? We're at this is the bottom of the 9th.
Oh, the bottom of the 9th. That's a better call. Sorry. I lost.
Or I guess maybe it's the top of the 5th because this is the 5th picks. Anyways, well, let's not question the math here.
Yeah. Math's never been my strong point. Oh, or English or anything. Thank you for listening to our little podcast. We really appreciate it. It means the world to us that somebody wants to listen to us talk about music that we like. If not, I just like doing this and hanging out with Justin and talking music. So thank you, Justin, for hanging out and talking with me and making time to do this. Thank you to the WhatsApp group for all the wonderful chats, suggestions, spreadsheets. I guess we've moved into people sending gifts now, and I don't know what else is going on in that chat. There seems to be a lot of surf talk lately. Someone said something about not going to shows, making fun of me. I don't know who did that, but
Everyone did that.
You can find us on our Instagram page at High Fives Podcast. If you listen to the podcast and you find it on Spotify, leave a comment or a rating. Same thing if you listen on Apple or any of the other ones. Again, if you are looking for it and all of a sudden it's not on Spotify, I apologize. Again, I don't know what's up with that. I'll find a way to skirt the system again. If you listen to the podcast and you like it, tell a friend. That means more than all that other stuff. And that's it, I think, right? I don't know. Do I have to say thank you to anyone else? Somebody?
No, I think you covered it. You did a great job.
I did a pretty bad job actually this time, but that's okay. I really am thankful. Justin, what's your last pick?
For my last pick, again, I was thinking of like what's gonna get the crowd going, what's gonna get some hands clapping or some feet stomping, and I thought, ska's pretty good. Like ska's, like bands are pretty good for a good intro. I love a ska intro that's just like drums and maybe like.
But I heard ska sucks.
The band comes in, kind of piece by piece, and that's exactly what this song does. It's just it's a not a long intro, but a long enough intro that you can kind of hear this build piece by piece, and then it gets all comes together. It gets pretty rocking, and it's just a really fun song that I think people you'd have a hard time not liking this song. It's just a crowd pleaser. It's like the hey ya of punk ska.
The hey ya.
Yeah, everyone likes hey ya.
No, I don't like hey ya.
Come on, how can you not like
I
it?
don't like Hey Ya. I think it's because we had to play it at so many weddings.
Maybe. You might not like it, but you know it's a good song.
Fair enough. Okay. I'll concede on that.
For this one, we are going back to the seaboard off the east. Freedom Coast.
Freedom Coast.
Hailing out of Washington, D.C. I think this is their second or maybe third album. The album is Willis, and the band is the Pietasters. And the song I'm going with is Out All Night.
Oh, great song.
Which is one of my favorite like ska songs. It's just like I like that album. I like I like the album before this one. I like this album a lot too. But this song in particular, I think is just the epitome of like late 90s ska punk, right up there with the Bosstones for like what I would think is like the quintessential ska sound, because it's not just the sort of the thing that makes ska now hard to go back and listen to is like the sort of goofiness of it. This was the opposite. Like they took more jazz, soul, R&B kind of sound and put it towards like, and not really in a, I mean, they were like a punk ska band, but they weren't really very punk. Just like the Bosstones weren't really a punk band. They were like a rock band that had horns.
Yeah, I see that for sure. First off, I didn't know they were from Washington. I always assumed they were from Boston. I don't know why. Because, yeah, I think if there was a band that would connect directly, like in a parallel line to the Bosstones, it would be the Pietasters. They kind of have that same thing in that, yeah, they weren't. I know Dickie likes to say he created skacore or whatever. Or coined it, which I don't really buy, but they kind of have that. But yeah, they're not punk in the same way that like Op Ivy is, or they weren't Less Than Jake or Real Big Fish or Goldfinger-esque or anything like that. They have their own. There's like enough traditional ska on there, and maybe like elements of punk and elements of hardcore and elements of, like you said, rock. Yeah. So yeah, and
I in some ways I think of them almost closer to a band like the Heavy than I would like Op Ivy even. So
yeah. Like I wouldn't connect them to Op Ivy at all. I'm just other than the term skacore is loosely used by these bands.
Yeah.
Also, Out All Night is phenomenal. What a great party song. I know when I just like that one if it came out in a car and we were going out or anything like that. It's a great sing-along song. It's everything. It's good for this for sure.
So if you got 10 to 25 seconds to make it to the batter's box, I would think about the song.
Sidebar, Pietasters is a horrible band name.
It's awful, yeah. Quite possibly a limiting factor.
I would agree. It's a limiting factor. I was just thinking that. I was like, I didn't want to listen to them ever because their name sucked until I saw them with the Bosstones.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't know if it's like a innuendo. I don't know if it's just like
I don't know
more
what that means.
Literal. Like I have no idea why they landed on this. They were called the Dance Crashers originally.
Weird.
Which
better name, but also could have got confusing and.
Oh yeah, like they couldn't have. I don't know what the timeline is between their start and Dancehall Crashers, but certainly a conflict there.
It would have to be pretty close, probably.
Yeah.
Great pick. So the interesting thing is I also went with sort of a ska song for my last pick, hailing out of Britain, which is known for their baseball, right?
Classic baseball city or country.
It's got that Midwest baseball feel right to it in the heart of England. My one note on here is picking a British singer for baseball already seems kind of funny to me. That's literally the only thing I wrote for this. The band is Rat Boy. The album is internationally unknown, and the song is Night Creature. This is Rat Boy's second release. It features Amy from the Interrupters on the track. It's produced by Tim Armstrong, and so that adds some American feel to it, I guess. The reason I picked this track is it has that laid-back feel of a song, plus the effect at the beginning of the song feels like something that would sound really good going through a stadium sound system as you got ready to bat. Like just very like booming, almost like not in the same vein, but like that Bosstones song off Question the Answers. I think it starts out with like that heavy, like it's almost got a thing like that going.
First track. Yeah.
So it's like it just feels like it's a good intro thing, and like you don't even need to get to the lyrics. But if you went with the lyrics part of it, it's really good too. Like it's just so laid back. You can see someone like just getting ready to bat, relaxed.
Yep.
Also, if your nickname was Night Creature, it'd be perfect. I don't know if anyone's called the Night Creature. It sounds like more of like a serial killer or.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in baseball wants that as their.
I'm gonna pitch it to somebody who's listening from Major League Baseball. I know you got your satellites. I know you're listening to everything. Make somebody take the nickname Night Creature or Rat Boy. Rat Boy's good too.
Or yeah, even Rat Boy.
Dear old Rat Boy.
Yeah, if the molester is taken, you can go with the Night Creature.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, just a great song. I really like Rat Boy. I see sometimes that Rat Boy gets some flack, but I really like Rat Boy, and their last album was really good.
Yeah. Also, stupid name. Just
no, it's from Simpsons.
I know, but it's still a stupid name.
No, perfect.
That's because you like rats.
No, I don't like rats. That's the best thing about
any band that has. No, that's that is actually hilarious. But any band
fucking
that
hate
has
rodents.
Rats.
Rats and mice don't jive with my germophobia. I literally, like, one of my biggest fears of all time is getting hantavirus. I saw it like when I was a kid once on like a TV show about like someone getting hantavirus, and ever since then I've been terrified of mice. And then the fucking Gene Hackman's wife died of hantavirus. Now it's justified in my head. Full circle.
I think we once saw a mouse in the bar and you jumped on the, like, literally, like, onto your stool.
I did jump onto the stool. I don't hide it. I'm not ashamed of it. Well, maybe I should be.
Maybe a little shame. Should be just a little shame.
Fair enough. Okay, there's some shame. Anyway, Justin, get to your song so we can get out of here.
I am just going to say I love that for an episode about baseball, you chose a band from the UK, a band from Sweden, a band from Alberta. And where's the last band? Where's the other band from?
Boston. Boston works.
But yeah, Boston, and we missed one.
Alberta kind of works too.
Okay, maybe.
Kinda. Core Blend seems like someone that might like baseball.
Maybe. Go see the Isotopes dogs. All right.
Talking
the
softball,
last pick,
Justin.
the walk-off for the walk-on songs. I went with the Pietasters and Out All Night.
Rat Boy and Night Creature. Thanks for listening. Stay cool and be excellent to each other.
Just passing by. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I come back to you. Get inside my troubled mind with all of your dread. Sometimes I think I was blind, and not before we met. I never wanted to be the one that you depend on for your life. When you cry, it smells like soup. Sounds like shown tonight. Never be my wife. just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep.
Stop ringing on my phone, let's leave a message after tone. Cause right now I'll be somewhere and get there on my own. My backpack has snapped back on the right track to the wrong place, and I backtrack to the train gap, my Air Max, and that's that. Lurking these streets with my feet on the concrete, the whole world beneath me, I'm feeling quite lonely. Oh my god, that's 2 years gone, what the fuck is going on? Coppers in my pocket, I feel dead but I'm the youngest one.
I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep.
The grass is always greener on the other estate. I'm a state, guess it's fate, so I end up in a place where I pace myself. You know I hate my health, I'm losing control, but at the same time, fuck it. Running, boy, let's go get free. Fed up with these frenemies, always questioned by the police, counting up our felonies. Can't handle the Hennessy, we got our own remedies. Struggle with identity, but we gon' have our legacy.
I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature. I don't sleep, I just crib. I'm a night creature.
The windup and the 2-2 pitch. Oh, no, sir, wait a minute. The batter is calling for time. Looks like he's going and getting himself a new bat. And now there's a beach ball on the field. And the ball boys are discussing which one of them's gonna go get it.
I never realized how boring this game is.
Well, Mr. Burns had done it. The power plant had won it, with Roger Clemens clocking all the while. Mike Socha's tragic illness made us smile, while Wade Boggs lay unconscious on their barroom tile. We're talking softball, from Maine to San Diego. Talking softball, Mattingly and Canseco. Ken Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw. Steve Saxon is running with the law. We're talking Homer, Ozzy and the Straw. We're talking softball, from Maine to San Diego. Talking softball, Mattingly and Canseco. Ken Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw. Steve Saxon is running with the law. We're talking Homer, Ozzy and the Straw.